Good morning, meteorologist Bob here for you with a Tropical Storm Emily update for Thursday morning, August 4th, 2011. Well, Tropical Storm Emily remains rather weak still this morning. It seems like that's been seems like I've said that a million times here the last 3 to 4 days, but really no real change in Emily's appearance or data from the hurricane hunters early this morning, still not showing a strengthening Tropical Storm Emily at all. We have maximum sustained winds still at 50 miles an hour. It looks like we're starting to finally have a little movement with Emily off to the west-northwest at 7. First, I'm going to show you, this is the official track for the next 3 days, 72 hours, and this is part of the track that there's still a little uncertainty with at the moment. We have tropical storm warnings, obviously, for most of Hispaniola, eastern Cuba, a good portion of the Bahamas, and now we have a new tropical storm watch for the northern part of the Bahamas here. Still no watches for Florida, at least for the southern half of Florida at this point, really because there's still some uncertainty here with this system. And I'll show you some of that in a moment here. So still no tropical storm watches. If Emily does not start turning today to the northwest, we may see some watches go out for portions of South Florida later today. So we'll have to see on that. That's still up in the air. As I told you the last few days, Thursday was going to be D-Day for whether this system gets close to Florida or not. And we'll have to watch today. If Emily does start making that northwest turn, then more than likely Florida probably will be unscathed with this system. So we'll have to really watch that today. And then for the rest of the track, this is where the confidence is much higher, right in here, past 3 days. So for you folks, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina coast, I'm pretty confident that Emily is not going to come see you at all. So that's good news there for you guys. But as far as Florida goes, this portion here, we're still a little uncertain. And I'll show you some of the models here in a moment. Okay, satellite view this morning. You could see Emily still really taking on that, I pretty much call it the blob look. Really not great outflow, not really looking at a really healthy system at this moment. Hurricane hunters noted about 15 knots of westerly shear still on this system. We have a little bit of an upper level low here across eastern Cuba. Again, still some dry air affecting this system. So all the same things that's been affecting Emily for the past 3 to 4 days are still affecting her this morning. And we've seen bursts of convection, but then they wane. And you can see we're kind of waning again currently now. Early this morning now, and also we're going to start interacting with some land here today as well, so I don't see much strengthening at all today with Emily, and we'll go from there. We'll see if she does strengthen or not, and I'll show you some of the variables here in a moment. Water vapor loop, again we see the trough getting carved out here in the western Atlantic, which is eventually going to push Emily off to the northwest and then north. See still some of that drier air lingering. And really everything else is pretty much remaining the same around Emily. The bigger picture here, just wanted to show you, here's one little piece of shortwave energy moving out. We have another one digging down off the mid-Atlantic coast here, and this is the one that could really give Emily that little push today. And we'll have to watch what kind of influence this has here with Emily's track today as we move along. And then we're also going to have another shortwave coming out of Hudson Bay here that's going to come back down too in the next 3 to 4 days. So all of this is going to continue to carve out this trough here across the eastern U.S., which will eventually get Emily and tug her right out to sea here. Wind shear again this morning, you could see analyzed here by Sims. We have, again about that 15 to 20 knots. What's going to happen here as this system moves off to the northwest and then north, we're still going to have a higher shear area of shear just to its north or pretty much near Emily. That's making it guess to me that this really isn't going to change much with Emily. I really highly doubt right now probably give Emily's hurricane chance of becoming a hurricane around that 10 to 20% marker. Um, my doubts are getting a little less and less here that Emily ever becomes a hurricane, just because of the environment around it. It's just really going to have a hard time. And right now, I'd say that Emily probably will most likely remain a tropical storm. There's still that might be that little bit of window, but I believe that window is starting to close on Emily, and we may just see Emily just maintain a tropical storm all the way until it gets out to sea. And again, here's the wind flow here, where it's the steering currents with Emily currently, and this is where, if Emily maintains weakness today, you can see, starting to see that this window, and it's starting to get sucked, possibly it's going to make that turn today here. And this will be that little window here for it to go and make that northwest, north, and then northeast turn out to sea. It's still not the biggest window you would like to see here, and the models have really been having a hard time with it, flip-flopping back and forth here, saying, boy, it's really going to go, and subtropical high is going to finally lose its grip. And it's really going to be interesting to see if this really does happen today. All right, model runs. Well, we've seen the flip-flopping back and forth of the model runs. 0Z came in late last night, and we've had another shift to the east of the majority of the model runs. And I say majority because there's still some that are outlying right out here. We still have the BAM runs that continue to go west. We have the UK Met run that continues to be west, and also the Canadian run that continues to be west. So these all are west. The GFDL, HWRF, they shifted back to the east at 0Z. And the GFS and Euro model continues to be east, although the GFS has now really weakened the system considerably on its 0Z runs. There is more data from the hurricane hunters in these 0Z runs this time around. So, that being said, this could be, if that's the case, now we're really going to have to see what the trend is at 12Z. Well, if this trend continues at 12Z and we see Emily making that turn today, we could start then saying with more certainty that this system will not affect the United States at all, particularly Florida. Still up in the air yet because we still have some of these out to the west, and Emily has not made that turn yet. So like I said, today's the day we're going to tell whether Emily's going to affect Florida or not. Intensity models, again, they're right around that tropical storm. Not as many in that hurricane range this morning. We have a lot more in that tropical storm range right now. And really, that's where I think Emily's going to end up lying, right in here. I really, again, cannot see this system really becoming a hurricane at this time. All right, HWRF model, again, it moved farther east with the 0Z run. Again, the HWRF and GFDL, as far as intensity, have really been pumping up this system all along. Will this happen? I highly doubt it. I think they're a little high on the intensity. But you could see this little shift to the east with the HWRF model. The GFS model, once it starts running here, we'll get back to the beginning here. You can see it kind of loses Emily on the 0Z run, really weakens it a lot as it moves over the Bahamas. And then you can see these strong trough here, and westerlies will eventually just, once it gets up to about past North Florida here, at least the longitude, then it's goodbye Emily. Emily will get scooted quickly out to sea. Euro model, same way. It's really been predicting a pretty weak system here, and again moves it well east of Florida and then out to sea. Last but not least, this is the UK Met model. Just wanted to show you one of the western outliers here as it moves it over Cuba and then across South Florida and then weakens it. Just wanted to give you that look there. So anyway, so today again, really the main focus today is going to be with the forecast is when Emily makes the turn and what the models do for the rest of the day today. We've seen that shift east, and again, the 0Z models did have a lot more Hurricane Hunter data in it. So now what do we see here? you know, look for the turn and look to see what the models do at 12Z. And that's really going to be the tale of whether this system gets close to South Florida and whether the National Hurricane Center does put out tropical storm watches for a portion of South Florida. So that's what we look for today. Again, I'm still on the fence here whether this gets close to Florida or not. Really going to have to see today what happens. But as far as Emily becoming a hurricane, I think that's less and less likely as I'm looking at the data today. Well, that's it for my update this morning. I will probably put out another update later this evening. Have a good day. And again, if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Robert, ACANFRIO. Follow, just request me and I'll put you on the list. And like I said, sometimes I throw little updates from time to time on Facebook. Have a good day.